Good evening. This is the Dean of All Things Spicy with Conjured Vaporz Peppers, and I'm here to do a pepper review. So, yesterday? Day before? One of the two. I've slept since then. Uncle Bullcow visited me. Came by, saw the garden, we hung out for a little bit, and he gifted me some peppers. So that's what tonight's review is. So, the first pepper is an MOA Scotch Bonnet. The second pepper came from the seeds of a White Ghost. It does look a little ghostly. So perhaps it was a red revert. Perhaps it's an unintentional cross. Don't know. And the third came from the seeds of a boot orange Copenhagen. Looks like an unintentional cross. So he purposely brought me these pods because he knows I love hybrids. Chasing them out, tasting them, everything about them, right? So, and of course, the MOA Scotch Bonnet. Come on. Who doesn't love an MOA Scotch Bonnet? Just an ideal tasting pepper. And I actually haven't had one in about 3 years. So, good. Makes me happy. So I'm super, super stoked to try these peppers. Thank you, Uncle Bullcow. You rock. Try to give you a better view. So anyway, we're going to use the pepper dissector, and we're going to hop into the MOA Scotch Bonnet. How's everybody doing? What you up to? Hopefully something fun. Smells like a Scotch Bonnet. So I love the Scotch Bonnet. And MOA, if you didn't know, means Ministry of Agriculture. So that means that the MOA is the official Scotch Bonnet of Jamaica, according to their Ministry of Agriculture. Don't know. There's multiple different types of Scotch Bonnet. One is from a farmer's market in New Jersey. Who knows? Who knows which one's original? But supposedly the MOA is. But anyway, MOA Scotch Bonnet from Uncle Bullcow. Thank you. You're my hero. So good. Of course, anybody that brings me or sends me peppers is my hero in that moment. So Uncle Bullcow just happens to be my hero in this moment. So, delicious pepper, citrusy, slightly fruity, slightly hot, to me. A little bit of a tingle on my tongue. Slight, very, very, very slight tickle in the back of my throat, which is unusual since the America's Belt Championship. My tolerance must have come down some because I usually don't feel any heat from a Scotch Bonnet or a habanero, so I'm not eating near as many as I was prior to winning the America's Belt. Okay, now, slight heat on the tip of my tongue. Okay, so it's good to know where my tolerance is sitting right now. That way I can more easily tell you what a pepper's heat level is. So unlike the habanero, which is approximately the same heat level, the Scotch Bonnet is just a normal burn, a normal Chinense super hot burn. People say it's not super hot, but really, the habanero and the Scotch Bonnet is the beginning of a super hot level. Most people nowadays call it ghost pepper and above. But originally, this was the super hot level. So, habanero Scotch Bonnets, they're somewhere around 150 to 300,000 on the Scoville heat unit scale. This one, I don't know, probably sitting around 200 or so. But it's barely a burn at all for me. It's a very, very, very comfortable, tiny burn. So it is what it is. It's delicious, though. Traditionally, Scotch bonnets are made. A lot of different Jamaican meals are made with a Scotch bonnet, including jerk chicken, rice and peas. Rice and peas, though, when they make it with rice and peas with it, they never actually break open the Scotch bonnet. It's literally cooked in the rice and peas whole, and then they take it out. Some people, at the very, very, very end, will slice it open and then take it out. That way there's a little bit of heat in the rice and peas. Mostly it's there for flavor. But anyway, so that one's that. And now, the White Ghost. Again, Chris intentionally brought me these because he knows I like them. So this was not something that he grew accidentally. I mean, maybe, but he brought them specifically because he knows I love this kind of thing. So I kind of tore it a little bad, but there's the inside of the quote-unquote White Ghost. Cheers. It does have that kind of unusual ghost type flavor, which I can never describe. It's like anytime I eat a ghost, it's kind of like fruity, floral, and bitter all mixed together, which creates a different kind of flavor. Some people love the ghost pepper flavor, some people hate it. Me, it is what it is. I don't love it, don't hate it. But the burn, mostly the front of my tongue, currently. It's probably going to change as it climbs, because if this is truly a ghost or something that came from a ghost, it's going to have a slow climb. Some people say that the ghost gets intensely hot after it's, climbed all the way up. Yeah. Now this, no guarantee this is a ghost. The seeds that it came from said White Ghost. Who knows? I'm not sure if he got the seeds at the beginning of the season, or if this is something he's grown every year from it. I don't remember. He's probably told me, but I don't remember. Where's my nose? That says it's a million. It doesn't feel like it's going much hotter. It might, but it doesn't feel like it is. So after that unique flavor wears off, the what I consider like fruity, floral, and bitter all rolled into one flavor profile, then it becomes fruity after that. I'm just wondering if it's going to keep climbing or not. It hasn't plateaued. Well, it may have plateaued. I don't think it's. It seems like it's done climbing. And again, if this is a ghost pepper, this is right at the level where most people nowadays call a super hot, the beginning of the super hot level. For me, they're warm. With this one, at least I can tell I ate a pepper. With the Scotch Bonnet, not so much. A couple little tickles. This is where, back when I had no tolerance at all, if I ate a jalapeno, this is what I would feel in my mouth. What? This is way hotter than a jalapeno. It's just that my tolerance level has gone up so high. But this is what that was back then. Yeah, so it's peaked and it's coming back down. It was right around a million one maybe. So I think it was a ghost. Had the unique ghost flavor. It did slowly climb, and it seemed to peak right around 1 to 1.1 million. Which 1.1 million is fairly high for a ghost pepper. Usually they're like 800,000 to a million. Definitely wasn't white. So whether it was just a color revert, red tends to be a trait that is dominant. So a lot of things can revert to red at pretty much any time in their future filial generations. The more stable something is, the less likely it is to revert to its dominant color. But it's still always possible. So now, the Orange Copenhagen, or BOC cross. This is obviously not a BOC. So it has to be a cross if it came from BOC seeds. Which the BOC itself is orange, unless it had a color revert. Orange, I believe, is a dominant color. So it's very, very rare, if not impossible, for it to turn red. I don't think it's ever impossible. but it's very rare for it to turn red because I believe orange is a dominant color. Anyway, cheers on the BOC. Mm-mm. Definitely not a BOC. Has a very annuum flavor. So I normally go from what I think is the lowest to what I think is the hottest. This should have been second. Maybe. Unless it still has that slow ghost pepper climb. I think this is an interspecific cross between a ghost pepper, a BOC, and and an annuum of some sort. The outset flavor was extremely annuum. That fruity flavor that you would get from a jalapeno or a serrano when it's fully ripe and red. The heat level does not seem anywhere near the White Ghost heat level. So I think I should have went Scotch Bonnet, then this, then the White Ghost. If I were to go from lowest to hottest. So whether it's the ghost playing in the background, or whether this one has a slow burn, a slow climb, this one does seem like the middle ground of the three. It's definitely not as hot as the ghost. Unless it's just super, super, super slowly climbing. Which is very ghost-like. Extremely fruity. I don't think there was any floral note. If there was, it was very, very, very slight. And only a hint of bitterness at the back end. But delicious. Absolutely yummy pepper. And probably prolific. More often than not, when you have a Chinense annuum cross, more often than not, they are highly prolific. Anyway, it's now peaking. I'm pretty sure it'll come down here in a minute. Sorry, work phone. Just saying it can't connect. So the burn on this one is mostly in the middle of my tongue. Right there. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. It's coming back down now. But thank you. Thank you, Uncle Bullcow, for the peppers. Very, very, very much appreciate you. And it was really cool to see you and to have you see my garden. I always love it when somebody in the community comes by and gets to see my garden. But anyhow, yeah, so that's the end of these three. And I will get a couple more in, hopefully, before the peppers start to go bad. Anyway, this is the Dean of All Things Spicy with Conjured Vaporz Peppers. I hope you all have an absolutely beautiful night. Tell someone you love them. I'm out.